individuals involved in such practice.
Find the evidences of those involved in such ugly acts. We just want to warn you that we're coming after you. If your goal is not to serve the public interest, but you want to use the public space for self-enrichment, you are miscalculating.
Minister Pia noted the donation of medications to government-run hospitals is geared towards humanitarian purposes, thereby improving public health for all. The information minister also lauded the USAID mission director Jim Wright for raising the red flag about the critical situation. Liberia National Police has arrested one person in connection with the death of Amanda Nipo. Recently, an employee of the Supreme Court, Amanda Nipo, was reportedly stabbed to death by suspected armed robbers at Bannersville Junction and made away with her belongings. But speaking Tuesday at MICA's regular press briefing, Police Inspector General Colonel Gregory Coleman said the person is facing police inquiry in connection with the incident.
This is something that is very disheartening. We consider it one of those issues that has to be aggressively pursued and is being aggressively pursued as we speak. Today, we have arrested one of the key suspects in the murder who has admitted his involvement.
Colonel Coleman also disclosed that the Liberian National Police has intensified its investigation into the matter to ensure justice is properly served for the victim. Meanwhile, the Police Inspector General is urging the public to remain calm as the LMP investigation progresses. At the same time, President Joseph Boakai has expressed a concern over a reported ongoing stalemate at the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. Recently, there have been media reports about ongoing rift between LDA Director Abraham Kroma and his Deputy for Operations, Hassan Fadiga. Information Minister Jeremy Pia said President Boakai believes it is prudent for government ministries and agencies to remain in harmony to deliver to the Liberian people.
We have reports of infighting about the LDEA. That has caught the attention of the president. He will take seize of the matter, and whatever the situation is will be resolved very soon because we don't have time for infighting. We have time to work.
Minister Pia also noted that the Liberian leader is taking siege of the matter to ensure unity is retained within the LDA. The information minister made a disclosure Tuesday at MICA's press briefing in Monrovia. Painesville City Corporation has given 2-month ultimatum to petty traders to stop selling at a roundabout at the ELWA junction. According to PCC Communications Director Jeremiah Dijen, the corporation will launch a vigorous enforcement beginning July 1 after the deadline. Mr. Dijen called on petty traders along the 4 routes leading to the roundabout to take advantage of this pronouncement and act accordingly.
There will be no street selling within the vicinities of the ELWA roundabout. No vehicle will be allowed to stop around the shoulder of the roundabout.
He said there will be no selling from SKD Sports Complex towards the roundabout, from LBS Market to the roundabout, and Women of Hope to the boundary between Congo Town and Painesville. Mr. Dijen said as part of the ultimatum, vehicles plying the 4 routes towards the roundabout would not be allowed to stop along the shoulders to drop or take passengers in that vicinity. Police in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County have launched an inquiry into the death of a man in Fairgrounds community. Jonathan Weirguy was found dead among his colleagues who slept together after attending a talent show at a local government school in Buchanan. According to our correspondent, the friends of the deceased are assisting the police in their investigation. Meanwhile, a 50-man jury has recommended an autopsy to establish circumstances surrounding the death of Weirguy. National Fire Service is expected to shortly launch fire prevention awareness campaign in Monrovia and its environs. According to National Fire Service Director Wiswa Bafo, the exercise is intended to curb increasing fire incidents across the country. Speaking at MICA's regular press briefing, Director Bafo said messages of fire prevention will be transmitted through jingles, promotions, or promos public as well as media engagements. He said as part of the exercise, the institution will rigorously inspect public buildings to ascertain compliance to fire service guidelines. The National Fire Service Boss also craved to public and the media support in achieving the goals of the campaign. Ballot papers and other essential voting materials have arrived in the country for the conduct of the senatorial and representative by-elections in Nimba and Grand Jida counties. The Nimba senatorial by-election followed the election of Senator Jeremiah Konga as vice president, while the death of Grand Jida County Representative Malizin Guyon also created another by-election. According to NEC chairperson David Etta Brown Lasana, the commission has procured 413,050 ballot papers for Nimba senatorial by-election and 26,400 ballot papers for Grant Jide representative by-election. Madam Brown Lasana also disclosed the deployment of ballot papers and other essential voting materials is progressing in the two counties. Meanwhile, NEC Liberia chairperson is urging candidates and their supporters to conduct themselves peacefully during the electoral process. 36 small medium enterprises have benefited from the Intellectual Property Management Clinic project. The project, supported by the World Intellectual Property Organization WIPO, was meant to address issue of limited knowledge of intellectual property rights and management among SMEs across the country. Speaking at the media stakeout, the Director General of the Liberia Intellectual Property Office, Garmen Koboy, said that at least 3 SME owners have protected their businesses while a dozen others have applied for protection. Also speaking, a representative of the World Intellectual Property Organization, Christopher Kalanji, thanked LIPO for ensuring that the project achieves its goals. And several commissioners at the Independent National Human Rights Commission have filed a writ of mandamus against the commission's chairman, Councillor Dempster Brown. A writ of mandamus is a special proceeding that compels the respondent to perform out of his official duties mentioned in all the counts and end breaches of the duties imposed upon by law. In the 20-count petition, Commissioners Mohamed Fambole, Nevada Riggs Unuaha, and Amelia Doe Pavey alleged that Chairman Brown's action have limited their ability to execute and implement the mandates and functions of the INCHR.
Vafle Kamara and the news bulletin. He will be back later on the program that time with our weather update and later with the foreign development. You're listening to News Half as Newsline here on ELBC Radio. One of our top stories, police intensify investigation into the killing of a young Liberian woman at Badnersville Junction. Recently, that story comes up later. Now, the reported selling of drugs donated to various government-run health facilities across the country has claimed the attention of government. This is why government has vowed to take a decisive action against anyone caught in the act. Information Minister Jeremy Pia made the disclosure Tuesday at MICAD press briefing in Monrovia.
As a government, it is concerning if medications that have